don't stop, Joe. You're on a good path. And y'all quit worrying about the lawsuits and make some money and do what's right, and you won't be in this spot.
I'm confident everything we've done was right so far.
Any other comments? Linda Kay, go
Well,
ahead.
I'd like to just make a suggestion. Within Wimberley Valley alone, we have an enormous amount of people who are highly talented in a number of fields. And I suspect that, like myself, there are many who would be willing to volunteer to work on a committee with Joan to help develop this, which would cost you nothing. Perhaps look at other avenues if a bid is necessary, but maybe research this a little bit more and see what else would be possible. And that would not cost you anything. But I know if you put the word out, there are a number of people who would come forward to sit on a committee and help brainstorm and work through some of these things.
We have such a committee, but it's more, I mean, it's from everywhere. And I also think that we really need to include people and help to serve the western part of the counties.
John, I have a question. Let's say you have the $3,000, we decide to, approve it and start with this, and something changes. Again, the lawsuit hits after that $3,000. We make our commitment, make that payment. Is there a time stop with the person who's going to be producing this video? In other words, could we put it on hold, those payments? Let's say August 1st, something changes. Can we say, hey, can you just put that on hold, and can you give us a few months to settle, let us understand where we're at, and then start it up again? Is that?
Gary's a very reasonable person, and I'm sure of that.
But the filming would have to be consistent because he's only available during the summer.
Yeah, he would have to continue to make film, but he need not release it until he gets married.
Go ahead.
But, that's up to him.
Yes, sir.
My name is Bill Davis, resident of the district. The only point was I heard some, with respect to the speakers before, some comments about ownership. And I got to tell you, ownership of the disc is not equivalent to ownership of the copyright. And I would just respectfully recommend that whatever contract you need, make sure that the district owns the copyright on that stuff. Because owning the disc, you can go out and buy a CD of your newest Madonna hit or something. You'll own that disc, but you don't own the copyright. So I'd like to suggest the district make sure that whatever contract we have, that the copyright does belong to the district. That's it.
Have you checked on that, Dr. Karen? We're gonna own the whole thing, right?
We're going on the copyright.
You'll own the whole thing
The district.
at the end. Well, I mean, as he is paid, if he's paid, you get the copyright.
All right, any other discussion?
Is he going to be the writer, editor? Where's he
Yeah.
going to get his information from?
Where he'll get some of it from you. I mean, he'll follow you around and get some of it from you. It's and I asked him to be here this evening, but he's getting the rest of the student yearbook out, so he's still working. And he's been working until 8 or 9 every night. Very dedicated man. And but he would be, filming you or using your films and, to go in the video, I guess. I don't know. This is something we'll have to work out.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Passes 3-2. Item 4, adopting resolution for or against SB 1901 and House Bill 386. SB 1901, file 411-2011 by Whitworth. SB 3865, right? 3865.
Dyslexic.
Show my paper. 3865.
Yes, sir.
It's written wrong here.
Just so you know, it did, 3865 did get through the House today. So it is on its third reading, it passed, and it is now going to the Senate. So 3865 did pass. Mr. Key, you want to?
Yeah, first I'd like to say Representative Isaac called me this afternoon and apologized that he wanted to be here, but he expected to be up at the Capitol after midnight tonight. He hoped we'd look at his bill favorably. Between the two, we've gotten far more feedback from Representative Isaac's office. I know he's had talked to myself, Representative Commissioner Wisnat. I think Mr. Skipton's talking to you some too.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of it.
I would say on 3865, I'm extremely happy with it. It's not everything everybody wanted, but it's something. And if we can get this passed, it will help our district. It's not the perfect legislation for our district, but it gets something, gets us moving in the right direction. And maybe once they see that we're working together with the legislators, we can get something done in a couple of years, some more things that need to be done. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. Very glad he took it and glad he got it pushed to the House.
Couple of points. Moving to a 4-year term will save the district, give or take $15,000 every 4-year election cycle. Somebody said, well, Mark, what if you get a bad rep in? I said, well, what if you get a good rep in? I mean, it cuts both ways. It's more incentive to vote. The raising of the fees from $300 to $1,000 it's May as a totally a board decision. I don't want to hang a higher fee on anybody, but according to state laws, this district has to exist. If it doesn't exist, they're going to roll it into Comal and Travis County. So we have to have a minimum amount. I don't want a $400,000 or $500,000 a year district, but somewhere in the $200,000 range to deal with these problems would probably be appropriate. So I would not favor raising the fees immediately or even if at all, but it allowed, Representative Isaac was real conscious of allowing us the option of raising as a board saw fit. And going from 25,000 down to 15,000 gallons, it's more just a nod towards conservation. I don't think it has much difference. The one worry I had, I discussed it with Commissioner Wisnat, who is by trade a well driller. I wanted to be sure that we weren't forcing people to put reservoirs in and booster pumps to get enough water flow in their house. Commissioner Wisnat indicated that they would still get plenty of flow at 15,000. Any lower than, I mean, we could have went to 5,000, but anything below 15, and you're looking at people not having enough capacity in their homes to get water when they need it.
I do believe what David Baker sent in, my personal opinion, he's wrong, that this bill would allow Isaac to pump up his chest and say he did something. Isaac never wanted to say he did something. That's not why he was doing it. I called and talked to him. Commissioner Wisnat called and talked to him. We're trying to get something done and move along. He talked with Senator Wentworth, but to say that he's doing this to pump up his chest is, I think, uncalled for, but that's what David wanted to say. Also, calling it a tax. The bill increases the tax. It doesn't increase any tax. There is no tax now on wells. There's a fee. It's not a tax. So it just, possibly he's misrepresenting it. Maybe he didn't read it completely, but nowhere in Isaac's bill is there a tax. In Wentworth's bill, they decided not to include the public water supply hookups to go up. He kept it at $300. He was going to charge, he took it to unlimited in Wentworth's first bill. He took it to unlimited amount we could charge for a new well. But on public water supply corps, they're using groundwater. It was still stuck at $300. I thought that was terrible. Still think it's terrible. If someone puts a new well in and our district charges $800, if you hook onto groundwater out of a central system, it should still be $800. That's the way the district's funded. I know people don't like it the way it's funded, but that's what we have now. And I personally, on this one, feel very good about it. I think we should come out very strong about it and be happy. Any other comments on it? Yes, it has to be, it will not go to the Senate. And I don't know what-
No, I think that we should make a resolution to pass the Senate Bill 1901 as it is written.
Wait a minute.
No, no, no.
Conversations.
Okay, yeah, now here we are now. So you would like to support the Senate bill?
Yes.
Not the Whitworth bill.
I beg your pardon?
Wentworth's bill, Senator Wentworth's bill, or just?
Senator Wentworth.
Well, his does away with all exempt wells. That's that's a big negatory ghostwriter.
Okay, all right. Right now, we're just talking amongst ourselves, trying to get an idea of where we're at here.
Well, I have some comments about the 3865.
All right.
I think it does make some movement in the right direction. But the 10,000 from the 25 to 15, like Mark said, it's just sort of a nod in that direction. It could be less, and I think it should, because I think these numbers right now give people the false impression that there is a lot of water that they can pump on any given day, and 15,000 gallons per day, you just can't believe how much water that is, and why a domestic, single private residential household would even need that amount. So
That's the way the pumps are designed.
Yeah, the only reason is when you wake up in the morning, you need 300 gallons of water, and you don't want to wait 4 hours to get it.
You probably need 75 gallons per minute.
well, yeah, but you're going into a bladder tank that holds 20, 40 gallons.
Right.
More like 50. But
Yeah. Anyway, that's,
Right. Oh, no, that's right.
those are just my comments. On the 4-year term, I think I support that. I'm not sure why a former director that hasn't served for 4 years can't run in this next election if this passes. I don't understand why that is.
Where's that?
where's
A
that?
former director may serve a third or subsequent term if that director has not served for 4 years. A former director.
Where's that?
Right, no, that would be new, anybody new. If this passed, David Baker, if he lives in the district, he could run again, immediately.
Well, it's not clear
Yeah, but the way,
that's the way that it says. A director may not serve more than 2 consecutive 4-year terms. A former director may serve a third or subsequent term if that director has not served for 4 years. Not served a 4-year term, but served for 4 years. So I read that to mean anybody who was of the prior, and that would be, I guess, Jack and Andrews, wouldn't be able to run.
I don't think so.
For 4 years.
No, a former director may serve a third or subsequent term if that director has not served for 4 years.
They have, well.
Right, they haven't
Per
served.
election cycle, right?
Right. I know what you're getting at, but
You have to step down for one cycle.
Yeah.
you step down for one cycle, which they're not on it now, so they don't, what they've done in the past has nothing to do with this.
That's not the way it reads to me, so. And then the connection fees, I think that while that has the look and feel that we could generate more revenue from that, that still ties us to wells. And I don't think that's really the message that we want to send, is that we're going to go after new wells to bring in more revenue.
But Ed, you said you wouldn't support a tax, so what are we gonna do?
I'm
You're not gonna support a tax.
And I didn't say that, did I, Mark?
What's that?
That I would support, that I'm supporting a tax.
You said you wouldn't, so I'm just saying that, where else do we
No,
go?
but what did I just say?
You just
I
said.
said, what I said was, this is having us rely on more wells to generate money.
Fees.
Okay.
Fees, yes. And that's true.
Right,
So-
but instead of taking a $300 fee, if we raise it to $600, you need half as many wells.
Right, but it's keeping us tied to wells.
Right, but I don't know how else to
As
get
a-
money.
Well, I'm sure there's other ways that money could be raised.
Bake sale.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'm all for any suggestions. If you have another way,
Yep.
if you think there's another way to raise money besides charging fees, I'd love to hear it.
I'm sure there's other fees that could be charged besides fees for putting in wells.
Well, that's not in the bill, so.
I know, I'm just telling you what I'm saying, you know? You have your feelings and thoughts about the bill, and I'm just telling you mine. I thought this was a place where we could do that.
It is, go 100%. And I'm just, anything that, if you want me to ask Isaac, I just know what to ask him for. I mean, if you want me to call Wentworth and say we don't want our fees to go up, we want them to stay at 300 because we have another idea to raise money, I'm all for that. If you just tell me what to tell them.
That's not what I said, Jimmy. I'm just simply pointing out that raising fees on wells, while it may look like it's a way for us to generate more revenue, it is also keeping us tied to wells. And the wells, the exempt wells, the number of exempt wells and the amount of pumping of the exempt wells is the issue.
I believe we dealt with that at the meeting. I don't know if you were at that meeting when we talked about our MAG numbers, so. And in any case, state law prohibits us from doing anything like exempt wells anyway at this point.
Yeah.
So we're kind of arguing about stuff we can't control anyway.
I'm not arguing about it.
I'm not either.
Any other comments?
The public allowed to make comments?
Yes, sir. Come on up. You have 3 minutes.
Oh. I should be quicker than that.
You have to run fast.
Corporation. The issues are large, and I first like to say that when Rick Green first created this district, it was with the complete intention of limiting the district's ability to function, and that's why we were bound to the amount of revenues generated from new wells as a way of limiting the ability of the district to function. And no other bills have gone through the Senate or the House. Patrick Rose, in his 2 terms, did nothing to support the district. And so I really am very proud and glad that Representative Isaac has attempted to do something in a politically very awkward climate. As far as we're not going to get everything that we want, because unfortunately, in this part of Texas, it's not yet a perfect world. But I think that what has been proposed is useful. I would also wholeheartedly support Representative Wentworth's intuitive, strategic and intelligent decision not to tax the public water supplies every time they hook up a new house. I think this isn't the way to go. And also, I was horrified that previous boards suggested that every time a rental property changed hands, that they would also be parasited upon. And I know that's a strong word, but that's exactly what I felt it was. It was a desperate move in a situation. And I really do, like so many people, understand the challenges that every board member faces, irrespective of how the public views them. With so limited funds and such an important task to do, it's very difficult to operate. Every board has struggled to operate, and I applaud this board for actually moving forward with education and many of the decisions that you have made to really bring to bear for everybody the original goals of the district, which was to bring us together to raise awareness of water usage and to create a common bond between all water users. Though you haven't got the statutory powers over everyone in the district, I think that the boards, when it went forward with the drought contingency plan last meeting, and made representation there for everybody to cut back, not just those that the district has authority over. So my time's up, but so that's just my 2 pence there. Thank you all very much. It may not help, but thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Ron.
Yes, sir.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Probably won't need that. Members of the board, I know that you all know this, but when this district was created, Mr. Brown, was that in 1999?
Well,
Under the
it
system.
was established in '99, but the actual setting, was appointed by the Commissioners Court, I believe was not until 2001.
2001, of course, the Rick Green bill modified the original enabling legislation of district. And before the 2001 legislation, the district was collecting what was called production fees. And this was on production of all of the permitted, non-exempt wells that you had. It's a very small amount of money, but it provided a reliable funding source for the district for that year and a half or so when it down.
Yeah, it carried us right through until, about 3 years ago, I think,
Yeah.
when we first started to go to the Commissioners Court.
And
We did
I think
$60,000-$70,000.
no one likes to talk about production fees, but it spreads the cost of operating the district over a wider base than the tax on individual wells or the tax on individual water taps. Now, y'all don't call it a tax, but, you know, I build habitat homes and we pay $300 every time we connect a Wimberley water supply. Now, I don't know, maybe that's a fee, maybe that's a tax, who knows? But, you know, you all need to generate revenue to operate your very important governmental institution, and you need a reliable source of revenue. And you can go to the Commissioner's Court every year and beg, but, you know, all it takes is 3 votes and you guys are down to 2 at the Commissioner Court level. And I hate to see that. And what I think the public would support a small, reasonable production fee that's assessed against those users of groundwater who are permitted by this district. And I would love to see that in Mr. Isaac's bill as it goes forward. A little amendment that allows production fees just like occurred when this district was created. I think you can call it what you like, but you all need the revenue, and that is an option. Nobody wants to talk about it, but I'll talk about it. Thank you.
All right, one more, Bill Davis.
So my name is Bill Davis. I'm glad Mr. McMillan gave that nice lead-in about production fees on permitted wells. I have concerns about both of the bills, but I'm particularly concerned about Senator Whitmer's. I'd like to first address Representative Isaac's bill. My concern is lowering the production rate from 25,000 gallons per day to 15,000 gallons per day. It may sound like you're saving something, but the reality is a lot of people, people aren't out there, that's a rate. People aren't pulling out 25,000 gallons a day. And the problem is that bill mandates, most people that have ag wells or residential wells, their wells were built for 25,000 gallons per day. That's the pump you put in there. This district measures permits, or whether you have to have a permit based on the capability of the well, okay? So everybody that's already got an exempt well that has a 25,000 gallon per minute capability, unless they're gonna dig up that, pull out that pump and replace it with a much lower capacity pump,